You and the Westdale. It's quite the story. Folks watching movies right here since 1935, with the good times rolling up to 2017 when the grand old lady was almost torn down. But thanks to fundraising, it was saved by a group of community volunteers, folks like you. And now, the Westdale's a showpiece, a not-for-profit charitable organization restored to its full glory and heritage designated to boot. Cool. So then right from this very seat, you could check out way more than just great movies. There's all kinds of arts and culture, music, talks, performances, and of course popcorn. But like in all good stories, there's an unexpected twist. 2020 hits and bam, the new normal, with stages going dark all over the world. Thank you. Now, it doesn't take a PhD in accounting to know no lights, no camera, no cash. Which means we need a little help from our friends to keep on keeping on. So if you can donate a little or a lot, it sure would help us keep the lights on, making you one of the heroes of this story. Stay tuned for the next chapter in the Westdale.
Hey, evening, folks, and welcome to the show. We got Wendell Ferguson playing for you tonight. Do us a nice little farm song, Wendell.
All right, this was made famous by Tammy Wynette back in the day, and I took a little different spin on it. Now our little pig is 4 years old and quite a little ham. So we spell out the words that we don't want him to understand, like S-A-U-S-A-G-E or R-O-A-S-T. But the words we're hiding from him now tear the heart right out of me. The B-U-T-C-H-E-R is coming over today. Soon our little P-I-G will be going away. It makes me feel just like a K-I-double-L-E-R. Oh, I wish I'd never called that B-U-T-C-H-E-R. Look at him, he thinks it's time for mud baths or slop again. He thinks B-A-C-O-N spells sty or pen. I'd hate to see his little feet, P-I-C-K-L-E-D. Oh, I've sworn off C-H-O-P-S, and I'm through with B-L-T's. B-U-T-C-H-E-R is coming over today. Soon our little P-I-G will be D-O-A. It makes me feel just like a K-I-double-L-E-R. Oh, I wish I'd never called that B-U-T-C-H-E-R. No, I wish I'd never called that B-U-T-C-H-E-R. That's all, folks.
Nice, Wendell.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank
yeah.
you, Mike.
That's a good old farming song. And I'm sending that out to Gary and Shirley Betzner out there on Bay Vista Farm. We're going to delve into some good music for you tonight here with Wendell. But first, I just want to say, you know, my usual spiel before we start, that we would love it if you folks can donate anything because, well, we're financially a little under duress here at the Westdale. So anything, 50 cents or a dime or a dollar would be great. If you can think of pushing that donate button, we'd love you. We're just trying to create a nice little space here where me and my friends can play. And we welcome you to join us there from your living room or kitchen or bathroom, wherever you might be. Okay. So getting into you, though, Wendell, I mean, you know, your past, your history. How did it all start for a guy like you?
Poorly, and it's progressed badly ever since.
Well, I remember you once said in your whole career you've made hundreds of dollars.
Tens of hundreds.
Tens of hundreds
Tens
now.
of hundreds. Actually, before we get into me, I'm bored of me, but this venue is so beautiful, Mike. I know you people aren't seeing it. You saw some shots at the beginning, but it's such a beautiful venue. It's very deco. What, 1917 did you say?
35, I think.
1935. Oh, it's
Yeah.
a beautiful place. And you're so lucky in Hamilton to have a place like this to come and see movies. I know this COVID thing's going to pass. Hey, I was just thinking about that too.
Yeah.
This is the first time we've kind of done a video together, right?
Right.
And there's two of us, so this is our COVID.
It's our COVID.
All right. Humor was never my strong point, sorry. Oh, look, one person's laughing. Oh, there's only one person here. No, there's two.
1 out of 2 ain't bad, I guess.
I know I was at a gig the other day, and my wife said, how did the crowd like you? I said, half the crowd loved me, and the other guy was asleep. Anyway,
Right.
I got started, I was a kid. I don't know why. My mother was musical. My dad liked music, but he didn't really play anything, but he liked it. And I was 7, and for some reason I wanted a guitar. That's why I believe in past lives. I think I must have played before because nobody in my family played guitar, and I wanted one, and the Beatles weren't out. It was pre all that. It was just I wanted a guitar, and they got me one, and so for 7 months it was, or about 4 months after Christmas was just this.
Working the
mother
strum.
Smiling goes, get him some lessons. He's driving me crazy. And then so I did that, and I've never worked a day in my life.
That's right. We just play, don't we?
We played. It's not play's a 4-letter word, but it's a good one. Yeah.
It's a big difference,
Yeah.
playing from working. We love it. Yeah. So, and your mom, what did she play?
She was piano, and she taught in Oakville, just up the road at E.J. James Public School. She was music and general stuff when you're there. She also did the musicals every year with they did a Gilbert and Sullivan every year with the senior 6, 7, and 8s, and so every year I got dragged down to see the Mikado or Pirates in Men's Pants or something like that. So it all and also I was thinking about this the other day. Where did I come from? We had a Tom Lehrer record. Do you remember that guy?
Oh, do I remember Tom Lehrer? I even mentioned that to a friend just yesterday.
Yeah, well, he was a big influence, and
I'll say.
Mad Magazine and Homer and Jethro.
Homer and Jethro.
Because I liked music, but I liked the funny aspect of music too. So
Yeah.
it was always kind of those guys. And Mad Magazine, Frank Jacobs' work, all those great parodies of famous songs. And I just loved singing that stuff because it was silly, but it was there. So I started doing that early. I started making up words to my own, not my own songs on the radio. I'd always turn them around, usually to the grosser end of things, but not as a little kid. But I just always made up words that were close to what the original was. But
Nice. Yeah, well, that's pretty exciting. Yeah. And I forget where I was going next.
You asked me where I came from. So
That's right.
I was reading that once that we're all we are the summation of our influences. So things that you like, you take into your world and you make them your own. And you might learn exact solo the way somebody plays it, but there's a couple licks that are going to stick with you and become your licks for forever. And so we all kind of we are who we listen to. And I got that proven written. Jerry Reed was a big hero of mine, the guitar player. A lot of people don't know Jerry Reed. They think, oh yeah, that's the Smokey and the Bandit, the guy who's driving the truck. Yeah, but he had a lot more depth than just that. He did several TV shows. He was an actor. He was also a great songwriter. He wrote instrumentals that were great, real lyric songs that were great. And he was just a genius, but he had 3 influences, and he really loved Chet Atkins and Merle, like the fingerstyle stuff, so he got that down. But he wanted to play it with funk in it, so he loved Ray Charles. So he said, if I could be Chet Atkins and Merle Travis, but play with the feel of Ray Charles. And then he loved Phil Harris, the guy who did those Southern talking things, the Darktown Poker Club and the Slippery Elm. He just it was like a poem, and he had a Southern voice. That, well, 3 boys went out one day, and it was like that kind of music. And so you add those 3 things up, that becomes Jerry Reed, and that was who he was. But he took all of his influences and created this persona,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I haven't created that yet, but I'm working on it.
You're working on it.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I grew up on Tom Leary. It was one of my mother's favorites. He wrote a great song called "We'll All Go Together When We Go."
and one that's really pertinent right now is "I Got It From Agnes." It's about a bug going around.
Yeah, there's a
So that's
bug.
been making the rounds too.
There's always something with Tom Leary. Eh?
Yeah.
Well, what about another song then, Wendell?
Okay, let's do this one.
Okay, I'll
It's
do
in
this
the key
one.
of A. Oh, you had something to say about this. This is the one
Did I?
about.
Oh, The Way I Drive? Oh, okay, yeah, because I like to tell this story. Since both my parents have passed, I can tell it without any guilt. And that is when I was young, I always wanted to drive, like ever since I was born, I think. So me and my friend would sleep over in the backyard when we were like 13, 14, and when my parents went to sleep, we'd go open the garage door and take the car out and roll it down the road quietly in neutral without starting it, because my parents' bedroom was right above the garage. Well, on about the 4th excursion, we got the car way down the road where I could still see my house, but I turned the key to the car. My parents had 2 Fords, and I had the wrong key to the wrong Ford. So now what do? It's like 2 a.m, so me and my friend pushed the car out, started pushing it towards our house, and then the garage light went on. That was my dad standing there in his leopard skin pajamas. And it was the only time I ever remember him using the F word. But
Ford?
Ford
Did you
it
say
was. Get that Ford back in the freaking garage, and you will be grounded for the rest of the summer. And that was my summer of '64 or something.
Aww.
So that's the way I drive, the way I learned to drive. And then Wendell wrote this song about it, which I often do in my repertoire.
I know you play more of my songs than I play.
Well, if you ever need me to sub in for you.
This one, I was, we consider ourselves songwriters, and you're always listening for hooks, right? And this one, I would say when people were saying goodbye to me, yeah, we'll see you later. And I'd always say, yeah, not with the way I drive. And they'd always laugh. And then it finally hit me after about 10 years, like, well, there's probably a song there
There's
that makes
a song.
them laugh.
Yeah. The Way I Drive.
Well, I don't watch my weight or my cholesterol, 'cause I don't need to worry about getting old at all. I'm never gonna have to face the taste of Geritol, not with the way I drive. Yeah, I take lots of chances, I got lots of nerve, passing on the inside or passing on the curve. Is it any wonder why I can't get insured? Not with the way I drive. Yeah, life's worth living when the world is whipping past. And who can smell the roses when you're going this fast? I'm never gonna know how old age feels when I'm running red lights, taking corners onto wheels. I flew past a cop, wrong way up a ramp, while he was writing me up. He was getting writer's cramp. I'm never gonna hear no children calling me Gramps, not with the way I drive. I'll take one. Yeah, life in the fast lane is life lived wrong, and I'm living proof, but I won't be living long. Fast lane's nothing if you wanna have fun. You ought to try life in the oncoming one. 1 foot on the road, 1 foot on the gas, 2 knees on the wheel, 2 hands rolling grass. I don't know what hit me right up to the crash, a crash that I won't survive. I got more fines and tickets than I care to mention. Right now my license, it's under suspension. I'm never gonna spend one penny of my pension. I won't see 65, no sir. Not with the way I best say bye-bye. Not with the way I drive. The way I drive. Stay off the sidewalks in Hamilton tonight. The way I drive. I gotta go home later. Yeah, look out. Yeah.
That's the way he drives.
Thank you both.
Wow, you're getting some applause here tonight, Wendell.
I know,
That's
that's
a
so
miracle.
rare for me.
Lordy. Well, what about some of the players you played with? I know you played with the best. Let's start with, actually, I think I got a few photos here. Do we have some photos, Mark? He's going to work on that. But
Okay, don't worry about it. I can't see the photos. So, will they come up down here?
they are. I think
all right.
we're like high tech here. We've got a monitor right here that we can see. Or maybe we'll do that part later, right? Okay, he said, oh, there we go.
Oh,
okay.
That's my lovely wife on the far left.
Marilyn.
Marilyn, yes. And beside her is John Diamond's wife, Denise. And the girl in the middle is some girl named Emmy Lou somebody.
Emmy Lou.
And then I'm a lot bigger then. I was about 60 pounds heavier, and John Diamond still had black hair then. That's changed. I got all this old gray hair. You're my hero, buddy. You're the guy.
I got
Look
gray
at, I want
hair.
to be hair like you.
You got it.
I'm an aging hippie. And
Yeah.
that was at Massey Hall. We went to see. I've met Emmy Lou 3 or 4 times now, and I don't think she would remember if he tripped over me, but she's always been very pleasant and very nice.
Nice.
You're friends with Danny Lenoir, so you probably met her. Have you?
Yes, I've met her, but I never played with her. So, well, next up we've got. Well, we all know that guy.
I'm not sure who the handsome guy on the left is, but the one on the right is Gordon Lightfoot.
Yeah.
That was Aurelia. I'd played on one of his records. Bob Deutsch was producing a record, and
Yeah.
he said
Painter. What was it called? The Painter.
a painter passes through, or
Yeah,
a painter passing
passes through, I
something like
think.
that. And Bob said he convinced Gordon. He said, "Well, let's get some guest guitar players on your record." And he said, "Like who?" And he said, "Well, like Bill Dillon,
Bill.
Dan Lanois,
Dan.
some of Hamilton's finest." And then he said my name, and Gordon said, "Who?"
Who?
And so he said, "All right, put it on, and if I like it, I'll keep it, and if I don't like it, I won't keep it."
Fair enough.
So Bob called me in one day, and we did a couple of songs. I was using an Esquire with a B-bender in it, and getting those.
Oh, the B bender. Yeah.
Anyway, I was doing that, and I did a couple of songs, and I think I did Red Velvet, an Ian Tyson song, and a country singer. And then we sent it to him, and he said, "Gordon, we'll live with this for a while and see if he likes it." And I thought, okay. So a week goes by, 2 weeks go by, 3 weeks go by, a month goes by, 5 weeks go by. I thought, okay, I guess I'm not on this album. And then about six or 7 weeks, he said, "Gordon has decided he loves it.
Ah.
So come on in and we'll fix it up." Well, we fixed up one song a little bit, but the other one, we couldn't better it. It was as good as it got on that. And then Bob said, "Leave it. It's the way he likes it. Leave it." So I ended up on his record. And then that summer, he was playing Aurelia. And we went back, and Bob said, "Have you met Gordon?" I said, "No, he didn't come to because we recorded on Friday, and it was Friday the 13th." And he said, "Oh, Gordon won't leave the house today." So I didn't get to meet him. So I did there, and he brought Marilyn, my wife, and I into the trailer, and we talked for like an hour. And he was the most gracious man, and he signed my guild, and just took his time with perfect signature and all that kind of stuff. Wow. Lovely man. I've met him several times since.
And a great songwriter.
Oh, the best, the best.
Okay, and then next up well, I know you're wondering, why did I pick this one?
I know.
But I remember seeing Lenny Bro when I was like 14 in Toronto. But
I saw him a lot too. The guy with the Chum T-shirt on in the back is me when I was younger. That was in my 20s. I'd be about 26 or 27 there. And my partners were Dan Ellison on the left and Dave Ferry on the right. And then right in front of us was Lenny Bro, and he wore his pants really high. I remember he liked to wear his pants high, and he was getting a little pot. And that's his wife of the time. And I can't remember her name. Was he Angela or I can't remember it. And he came out to Orchard. We had this studio, Brampton, Georgetown area, on a farm. And there was a band playing, and he was playing a 7-string nylon guitar at the time, and with a high A on it that he used fishing line for. And he came out, and they paid him to do a session, and he'd grown up in a country band. Hal Lone Pine and Betty Cody were his parents, so he played country since he was a little kid. And so they said they're doing an album with this twin fiddle band called the Nashville Sailcats, and they hired him to play guitar. So he come out and he said, well, this guitar is not appropriate. Whose Telecaster is that? And I said, that's mine. May I use it? And I said, no. No, you can't. Keep your hands off it. I gave him the guitar. I didn't give it to I let him use the guitar. He played it all day. I got pictures of him playing it. And he was just amazing. They did songs. They did, Duke Ellington's Caravan. And they did it, and they said, you kick it off. And he played 3 solos, and they did 3 takes of it. And at no point did he ever play the same lick twice. Like, every solo was completely fresh, completely new. And if he said, play that way you played a minute ago, he says, I have no idea what I played a minute ago. He just plays. And they did a thing, they did Faded Love. And they said, maybe you could kick it off with a rubato intro. And he sort of played something like this. Kicked in this, and it was like, and then every time he did an intro of that, it was totally different. Like, he would reharmonize it on the spot, and it was mind-blowing to spend the day with him, and he was such a very nice man, but in a way his own worst enemy, because he had the demon of, he wanted to get high. He didn't like being straight, and his wife was patrolling and making sure there was no drugs, no alcohol, no anything at the studio, where he was on the other side of the glass going, is there any booze down at the house? You got any J? Have you got any pills? Like, he was looking for it, and she was trying to keep him away from it. It was a weird thing, but beautiful man. Beautiful man,
and what a guitarist. I saw him again when I was really young in Toronto at George's Spaghetti House.
That's where I saw him a lot, too.
It was like a trio. I forget who else.
We might have been there together, because kids could go to George's because it was a restaurant.
Yeah, and it wasn't COVID, so we could go. All right, well, next up, I think we got one more.
Oh, yeah. Again, that's my lovely wife on the right-hand side of your screen. I'm about 60 pounds fatter. Look at that face. And in the middle is, I think he was about 91 then, or maybe 90, I'm not sure. That's Les Paul. We went down to see him in New York. He was playing the Iridium, and he did a gig every Monday night. He lived out in Connecticut or New Jersey, and they'd send a limo for him. He'd take it in. They'd give him dinner at a nice restaurant. They'd go up and play the first set. And then he'd take a little break, and because he was getting pretty old, so he'd take a break in between the 2 shows. And I brought a couple of pickguards because I wanted to get his autograph. And they said, Mr. Paul will not be signing between shows. However, if you want to get your thing signed, keep your ticket stub, and you can come back at the end of the night, and he will stay as late as you want and sign everything. But he wants to rest between shows. So we were like, oh, great. So we saw the 8 till 9 show, and then he took a break and then played 10 till 11, and then the night was over, and then we got back in line. And he was so gracious. He sat there. He was there till 2 in the morning. There was a lineup out the door of people. And you can see I have 2 pickguards there. One's from a 60 Les Paul Jr. and a blank one from a Les Paul. And he signed them both. And on the white one, he said, Wendell, keep picking Les Paul. And it was nice. And on the junior pickguard, he wrote, he said, it's too dark, and he got a silver pen and spent his time writing it. And then I didn't put it back on the guitar because it would rub out, and then what would it be worth? So I framed that one, and I bought a replacement guard for the actual guitar.
Good thinking.
And that's my beautiful wife, Marilyn, right there.
Yep.
She's probably watching at home. Hello, honey. I love you.
Yep, me too.
You love her too?
No, well, and last?
That's Terry Clark. She's a lovely person, and she was just inducted in the Hall of Fame, I think, last year. I was in 2014, so I beat her into the Hall of Fame. But,
yes. And which Hall of Fame is that?
Canadian Country Music Hall of Fame.
Nice.
Yeah. It's a real small hall. I'm rooming with Russell DeCarl.
Okay.
The rooms are really tiny. The most have round shoulders. But she, I got to tell you a story about her. She was, I do Dauphin Country Fest every year. Well, I haven't this year with COVID and last year because I'd done it 15 years in a row. It's a big festival in northern Manitoba. And I run the Songwriter Circle on the main stage on Saturday. And anyway, So the Saturday night entertainment was Terry Clark was on at I believe at 10 o'clock, and then Dwight Yoakam was the headliner 11 to 12:30, and that was it, the end of the evening. Well, he took his pilot, his equipment was all there, his stage was set up, all the gear was there, but they flew from LA, and the pilot didn't like the weather in Brandon, so he landed 4 hours away, and then there was no way they were going to make the gig in time, and they were on a bus, and they got an RCMP escort with front and back. They were speeding to get there, and the organizers said to Terry, they said, look, the crowd will go crazy if Dwight doesn't make it here in time, and they'll tear the place apart. You got to do a long set. She did 2 hours and 24 minutes or something like that. She played every song she ever knew in her life, and she went out and did a solo set and all that. She kept that crowd entertained, and they didn't even know anything was wrong, you know, but if they had to sit there for an hour and a half and wait for somebody with no entertainment, they'd go crazy.
Yeah.
She was fantastic, just a total performer, that girl.
Well, that's great. Now, what about, I got one more story I'd like you to tell about Stompin' Tom Connors.
Oh, I got a lot of stories about him.
Okay, well, give us one anyway. I was thinking of your studio. Now, just let's delve into that for a sec. There you go, Gary. Delve into the studio. It was in the country.
We had my friend owned an apple farm, Dave Ferry, out on 5th Line in Norville, Huttonville, Georgetown area. And they had a 100-acre apple farm. And his dad wanted him to be a farmer, and he's like, I don't want to farm, Dad. I want to do music. And so I spent 10 years as the guy on the road. And then when we got off, I was like, wouldn't it be nice to have our own studio? And so we built one inside a Quonset hut.
Oh, yeah.
We put up a couple of wall thing and built a log cabin on the back for the control room, different slabs and all that sort of thing. We did it properly. We knew we needed experience, good equipment, and a good room. Well, we'd have to get the experience. We couldn't afford the good equipment, so we put all the money into the room, and then gradually, as the years went on, the equipment got better, and we got the experience.
And you got experience.
But yeah, we were out there, and what was the question again?
Tom.
Tom. So Tom came out to. I'll tell you a couple of little short ones of him.
Yeah.
He came out to do some albums there. He heard about it because he lived up in Acton or Georgetown around that area. So he heard there was a studio in the country. So he came out and looked at the place. And said, all right, we'll work here. And we got in, and he always wore that little black leather vest and the cowboy hat. Like he looked he was the same guy on stage as he was off stage, identical. Yeah. And a very nice man. He was nice. Whenever he saw me with the jokes, right, he'd always say, oh, must be springtime. Here comes the corn.
When he saw you coming, that's what he'd say.
Whenever I was coming. And then, so everybody who was friends with him knew that he liked beer. He didn't like it cold. He liked it room temperature beer. And so they would always, he couldn't get Moosehead at that point in Ontario. So he went to 50. And so everybody that come up to see him all week long would bring a 24 or 50. And he would drink it like all day long. He would have an export A in this hand and a 50 in this hand. And he never got drunk, but he just maintained the buzz. If he could do that for 12 hours, maintain that buzz.
I guess.
And then at the end of the week, we said, well, Tom, you can either pay us or we can just keep the empties. It's about the same.
Return the empties. Yeah, but I also remember I read somewhere that he came in and said something about the number of tracks.
Oh, yeah. He said, I've been thinking, last couple albums I didn't use 16 tracks. We were 16, Otari 1-inch,
yeah, 16
at that point. And I said, yeah, okay. And he said, well, I think I'm only using 8. I should get half price.
Half price for using half the tracks.
And my partner explained to him, he said, you're saving money on tape because we can go twice and you can get twice as much stuff on one reel of tape, so you're saving money there. But we're not cutting the rate in half to do that. We're still using all the same electrical energy.
Yeah.
Everything else is the same. I don't know about that. So we had it was kind of fun, but he was like a cantankerous kind of guy, you know. He'd argue with you.
Yeah.
And we finally put him on to Brian Houston up at Escarpment Sound, and he had 8 tracks there and gave Tom a break. So Tom took his business there. But we did about 3 albums with him, and it was a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah. And what a great writer he was.
Yeah. Oh,
you know.
yeah.
Oh, well, speaking of which, what do we got? Another song for these folks, Wendell?
Let's see.
I'm thinking we should do something to keep them awake. It's
okay, let's do this. This is musicians are inherently lazy people.
True.
And, well, it's true. You know, if you want to... They say if you want to find the easiest way to do a job, hire a lazy guy to do it, and he'll figure out the least effort that is going into that job. And so this one, I wrote this song, and it just changes. I call it 4411, 5511, and then I don't have to explain it to the musicians. I just say it's in E, and they know the changes already. So
4411, 5511. Watch. There you go, the 4411.
More clams in there. I could make clam chowder. Thank you. Look at these cameramen. Are you getting my sensitive side? I'm sitting on my sensitive side. It's pretty sensitive.
Lordy. Yeah.
I've known you for a number of years. We were trying to figure this out earlier where we met. I believe I did a session for you at MJM ad agency.
Yes.
You owned and operated
I did,
one of the big ad agencies.
Now my daughters run that company.
Do they really?
Yeah. Kara and Marcy at MJM Media, and yeah, and Ty is one of us as well.
Oh, good.
And yeah, so that's MJM.
So if they know what's good for them, they're volunteering their time here.
Yeah, but I think we might have met earlier at Grand Avenue Studio.
Possibly, yeah.
Because I know you did so many sessions there for Bob. So, yeah.
I can't remember when I met Bob. I did something there, and he liked me for some unknown reason. He liked me and got my number, and then he started phoning me for stuff. And then every time I do it, I loved it. The building. It's sort of like this. It has a lot of history to it. That old Victorian down on Grand Avenue there, and
yeah, it makes people feel like playing music, just like here.
It does, yeah.
Yeah. And by the way, if you guys are enjoying the show, feel free to donate at any given moment, because we'd love that. Now, I just wanted to talk a little bit, too, about some accolades you've received over the years. You mentioned earlier you're in the Country Music Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was 2014. I don't think I've done my best work yet. I said I don't think I deserve this, and I wasn't wearing it well that whole weekend. I was being feted at this thing, and they're all, "Oh, you're fantastic." I didn't feel honored. I mean, I didn't feel deserving. And then at the end, a little girl from up in out west, keyboard player, said, "Hey, thanks for winning one for us." And I said, "What do you mean, Amber?" And she said, "Well, the musicians." And then I looked at the list, because I was looking at people like Gordon Lightfoot and Anne Murray and all that sort of thing, and I was like, I don't fit with that crowd. I'm not that good. But then I saw it's like Al Cherney, King Gannam,
Regular.
Maurice Boyer, like players. There was players in there too, and it's like, okay, I get it. I'm kind of on the playing side of the thing, so I felt it better there. But it was over then. I couldn't really cash in on it.
And then we go to the Country Music Awards that you won for several years as the Guitar Player of the Year, right?
Yeah, but that was back when I was good.
Okay, so
yeah, those days are gone, baby.
Yeah, it's not like riding a bike, I guess. Yeah.
I could still fall off a bike too.
Okay. But that was, I think Wendell won that award several years in a row, to the point where you don't enter anymore, right?
Well, I brought that about, as a matter of fact. The Oysters, Prairie Oyster was winning every year. Russell would win bass player, and Joan would win keyboard. And I sort of said, after I'd won 6 of them or something, I said, I don't really want to win this anymore, because I know there's better players out there than I am. I just want to, I'm happy that I got it. Yeah. I'm proud of it, but let's move on and let somebody else win. And so I talked to those guys, and I said, do you want to keep renting Russell? And he goes, no, I don't want it. I don't want that award. And it's like, you've already achieved it, and it gets tiring to see the same people win every year. It's kind of like, it's kind of boring. So I went to the board and said, why don't we do it like Guitar Player Magazine and just do like a 5-year, if you win it 5 years, you're gone. Yeah. And then somebody new has to win it. And so they adopted that on our recommendation. We all signed a little petition, and they said, okay, if that's the way you want it. So I'm out of the running now. Now if you win 5 times, you're in the 5-timers club, and you're not in the running anymore. So.
All right. And then you won I think you were nominated for a Juno or 2, maybe. Was that right?
Yep, 92, 93, sometime back then when I was a younger man. Yeah,
years ago.
Didn't win them. I think there was the Oysters might have got them those years, or the Good Brothers or something like that, Roots Act or something like that. Mm-hmm. I had a country act happening there. And we did a recording at Grand Ave, and that's how Bob got to know me even better. I would bring the band in, and he kind of liked me and sort of thing. So it's funny. And then I met you, and it's I love the Hamilton music scene. I got to say, you've got a very vibrant, well, before COVID, but you had a very vibrant scene happening.
Yeah, and I got to say, like, you people out there are probably thinking, Hamilton Originals, this guy is not really from Hamilton. He's really from
Streetsville, Ontario.
So that's only like 25 miles away. And but you have spent so much time playing in Hamilton and playing sessions in Hamilton and gigs in Hamilton. The first gig I saw you play was in Ancaster at the Summer Music Series of Field Coat there.
Oh, yeah. With Betty and the Bobs, is that the one?
Yeah, it was Betty and the Bobs and you, I think. And Kara and Marcy came with me. We sat in the grass there, and then you came over and talked with us afterwards. It was great.
Oh, well.
So
I was a nice guy back then.
And then
Things have changed.
Yeah. I just wanted to show you a couple of the CDs that Wendell has done too. Mark, if you can bring those up. Wendell's, you've got what, 5, 6?
I think I have 6 products. So one's a DVD as well as a CD. The Christmas one is like a double product, and then I have 5 CDs, and I have a new one I'm working on right now. It's going to be called Folk You.
Folk You.
Yeah,
I like that. I'm a folk, you're a folk, we all folk.
Both going back to university to learn how to play folk music. So
yeah. So this is the second latest one. No.
That was 2010, I believe. That won the, I'm kissing my own ass here, but sorry, not supposed to swear. I'm kissing my own rear end here. That was an instrumental record I did, and I didn't open my mouth on it once, and it won the Canadian Folk Music Award instrumental for 2000. I think it was 10 or 11, I can't remember.
I see you're good with French. It's called the Ménage à Moi.
Yeah, Sleeping with Myself.
Okay.
Yeah. And Marilyn's on the cover too, that little picture as a character of her.
I see.
And we went to, I didn't think I was going to win. I thought, there's no way I'm going to win this. And she said, well, let's go. We did a rock star thing. We flew out to Winnipeg where the awards are. We flew out that day, got a hotel room, got a nice dinner, went to the awards. And then she said, it was cold in the theater, and Winnipeg in the winter, Winnipeg, man, it's cold out. And she said, you better take your coat off. This is your thing. I said, I'm not going to win. And there was some really good people in the category. And then they called my name. I was like, oh, my gosh.
Oh, my God.
I went up and I said, I'd like to thank my manager, but I don't have one. I'd like to thank my record well, I don't have one. I'd like to thank my... I don't have anything. But
thank the wife.
Wow. That was a fun album. That's the only one I can listen to. I hate my voice.
Oh, come on. My favorite one is... Well, let's see the next one, Mark. Oh, this is a good one. Now, you folks got to hear this. Wendell does a song called Why Do Christmas Songs Have So Many Chords? Right? Because if you listen to them, they all got a gazillion chords, and Wendell made a funny song about that. And that's a live DVD as well.
Yeah, there's a DVD. We taped that at Hughes Room. I had a great band, 5-piece band, and this producer, I think he spent like close to 50 G's. There was 38 people running around, line producers, makeup artists, all that kind of stuff was all happening, and I don't think he made his money back. When we went to the CBC, they said, the acquisitions department, they screened it. They said, it's very high quality. It was high def. And you people have been listening for a half an hour now. You know you'd like it better if you were high or you're deaf. Anyway.
High def.
They didn't go for it, and then Comedy Network didn't go for it, and CMT didn't go for it. So it never got picked up by a network. But it won several film awards, but it never made it to television, so I make fun of it in my show now. So.
Well, that's great, and I love the cranky Christmas. That's
we were going to call it Jesus Christ, It's Your Birthday Again. But the producer didn't go with that. So.
No, okay. What else have we got? My favorite one is this one.
Oh, yeah.
Wendell Ferguson Live, the Hits the Fans. You got to get that one, folks. It's got some great songs on it. I think the next song we're going to do is on this one.
Is it?
Is it?
Well, it depends what the next song we're going to do. Is it? What are we going to do?
Well, we're going to do that song about boating because it's the summertime.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll go to electric for that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Wendell wrote this song. It's for all the boaters in the audience. You don't have to have a big boat. It could be a fishing boat. It's got to have a motor, though. It can't be a canoe because this song is, well, it's really about motorboats. Okay, Wendell's getting strapped on here.
Okay. Yeah, speaking of that, you lived on a boat for a number of years, didn't you?
I did, 6 years.
6 years on a boat down in Hamilton at the yacht club, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I played down there too. Isn't the guy who does the newsman was didn't he have a boat down there? I'm trying to think of what his name was.
Red Green does, Steve Smith.
Right. Well, I remember for a little while I lived on a boat, a houseboat, and I was dating the girl that lived in the next houseboat over, but eventually we drifted apart.
Sadly.
Yeah.
With that,
some girls seem to go for men with muscles. I don't want to rip the shirt. Other girls prefer a man with class. Right there. Some like men with taste, tie, or just a handsome face. Others go for wallets full of cash. But up in cottage country, things are different. There's one simple rule I will announce. Oh, when it comes to boaters, it's all about their motors. Believe me when I tell you, size counts. He's got a great Big Johnson. It's the biggest Johnson on the lake. All the neighbors turn green when they see that machine. It's the biggest Johnson that they make. And all the girls cry, awesome, awesome, and whistle loud when he goes by. They know if they look cute in their sexy swimsuits, they can take that Big Johnson for a ride. He's got a great Big Johnson. Oh, it's bigger than an Atlas rocket, with all of the force of 400 horse. We all wonder where he docks it. It lakes from here clear to Wisconsin. It's talked about with jealous pride, 'cause when his anchor drops, he hauls up that big prop, and oh wow, all the ladies sigh. He's got a great Big Johnson. It makes all us other motors stall. You might feel like a jerk with your minuscule Merc, 'cause next to his, well, I'm afraid yours looks small. And everybody wants one, but that model isn't made no more. As you tug on and choke all your tiny two-strokes, he'll just put that Johnson to the floor. I'm gonna take one. Johnson. It makes all us other boaters simply sick. When he wears his Speedos, we say, damn that torpedo. And folks all think they sighted Moby Dick. There she blows when that thing is throbbing. You can hear him coming miles away. I don't mean to be crude, but it's just effing rude. To all us other dinghies, us little tiny dinghies, Mike. To all us other dinghies in the bay.
Great Big Johnson. Wendell.
Tell to my wife that's a work based loosely on fiction.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's fantastic, Wendell. I think that's bringing us almost to the close of the night here, but I think you've got one more song that you were going to play, if you can, that instrumental one.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
If you want to.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Okay.
Because I sing those the best. Some of my best singing has always been on the instrumental songs. This one is... This got me started on the guitar. I'll tell this little story, very short. when I was a kid, I'm going to use the Jam Man, by the way, on this one, Dave, so make sure that's on. Let's check it, make sure it's working. That works. Okay. So when I got the guitar when I was 7, about the next year, my parents bought a home entertainment center, which is, it was a stereo, but it was like 8 foot long, 7 foot long, black walnut box, half the lid open up just like a coffin, but instead of a dead body, there was a AM, FM, record player, that kind of thing. Radio with shortwave, Tokyo, Peking, like as if you're going to get that. And they came that night. They brought it from the home in rural in Cooksville because Streetsville was too small to have a stereo store. And they brought it, they set it up, they leveled it, they put up the FM aerial, and they brought 2 demonstration records so that you could hear what stereo sounded like, because stereo was new back then. Right. It was 63 or 64. And there was, doors in front of the speakers so you could shut them. I don't know why you do that. And they put the albums in the side, and you could stack like 10 records up and put the arm over, and they'd fall on top of each other. And not good for the records. But anyway, they put it on, and they brought 2 demonstrations. One was called Mood Latino by George Shearing Quintet, and it was Latin and piano music. I never listened to that, but there was a half-naked Spanish woman on the front, so I spent a lot of time with that album, but I never listened to it. And the other one was Cavalcade of Hits on the RCA Camden label, and the 5th cut on side 1 was by a guy named Chet Atkins, and I was 7. What do I know? I don't know anything. But I heard this sound, and I was like, what is that sound? I just kept lifting the needle up and putting it back on that song, and this is the song I heard, so let's try and get through it.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Some sand. I'm out of sand. I could sure use some sand.
I don't know the words.
Wendell Ferguson, folks, you gotta love the guy. Talented fingers.
Mike McCurlie, thank you so much for having me. And please support this. Donate some money. All my pay today goes to this.
Okay. And that's great, Wendell. Hey, we got to thank a few people too. Marie Phillips and her company Next Steps Planning with IPC Securities. Tyler Tikach here on the camera. Turn that camera around on yourself, Ty. No, okay, you won't do that. Okay, we got Dave Plant on the sound, Mark on the video tech, Rob McCann doing the Clearcable online stuff. So thanks to everyone. Thanks a lot for joining us tonight, and we'll see you next. Oh no, we're not. I got to make a big announcement, don't I? Next week is not happening because we're switching to Mondays. So the following Monday is when we're going to start up again, and then from then on, we're going to do it on Mondays. And that's because the theater is now sort of open to, what is it, 50 people, I think? Right? So we've got some yellow tape around where you can sit, where you can't sit and whatnot. But so that's what's going on here. We're switching to Monday. And the first Monday in August that we play is August the 10th, because the next Monday is a holiday. So August the 10th, we've got Laura Cole here.
She's great.
Yeah, Laura Cole. Wendell knows her. I've known her since she was born. And her dad's going to be here with us, Ron, who's I've played with since 1966. So it's kind of a family thing.
Funny,
That's
she's so beautiful, and she looks like him, but he doesn't look beautiful. Like he's just a
what's
nice
with
man.
that?
You know what I mean? I can see,
Yeah.
I can see her face there, but she
Yeah,
sucked
yeah.
all the beauty out of her dad.
Yeah, that's right. But so that's Monday, August the 10th, and then every Monday after that, the one after that, we've got Wayne Krawchuk from right here in Hamilton, fantastic writer and player. After that, we got Steve Strongman on the 24th. That guy's killer. And we're finishing off the August with Steve Smith, who you may also know as Red Green.
Red Green.
So Red will be here, or well, Steve will be here. Red's retired. So anyway, we'll see all you folks on the Monday nights in August, and thanks so much for joining us tonight. See y'all later.
Bye-bye.